let's say hello to Jason Howell. He
Hello.
is the host of All About Android and is an expert on Android phones.
I try to be.
We always give you the hottest Android. This is an AT&T device.
Yeah, it's an AT&T LTE device, so it runs on their LTE network. It is the Pantech Discover. I've never actually used before this Pantech device, and Pantech's kind of known. I would say they have a pretty big reputation for being kind of on the lower end.
They're the low end. We've seen Pantech tablets at CES. We've even seen Pantech phones. Yeah, it's an entry-level phone, I guess is a better way to put it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is kind of in the same scale, although I will say right off the top that kind of parts of the design really impressed me. For $50 with a 2-year contract with AT&T, and
it's a good-looking screen.
Yeah, it's an okay screen. The problem with the screen here, it's a 720p screen at 1280 by 720, 4.8 inches, so that's nice. And actually, the pixel density, it's hard to kind of see those pixels, you know, when you hold it up really close. But the problem is the viewing angles. The viewing angles are pretty bad. If you go slightly off axis, you start to see it fade a little bit, and that's not just like the camera playing tricks. It really does start to fade pretty rapidly. You know, so if that's something that matters a lot to you, you can kind of start to see like maybe that, you know, because it's a lower entry phone, maybe that's part of the...
They're not using an IPS display.
Yeah, exactly. That's possibly where they've kind of saved a little bit. But it has 16 gigs of internal storage, 1 gig of RAM. It's a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon S4 Plus, which is the same that you get in the Galaxy S3 and the Razer HD. It's running 4.0.4 Ice Cream Sandwich.
That's a little old. I'd like to see 4.1.2.
Absolutely. They have said that they're going to update it at some point. But, you know, and I mean, aside from that, yes, it's Ice Cream Sandwich, but Pantech has really skinned it like pretty significantly. So, you know, you see a lot of their own kind of touches as far as the skin is concerned, little things that are kind of convenient, but you have to really ask yourself, like, is that what I want in my device? Sure, you could put a different launcher on there to kind of fake some of the stuff. Along those lines, actually, here, this is kind of interesting. They have an experience changer. So right now I have it in the standard experience. Yeah. You can set it to the easy experience, and guess what you're going to get? You're going to get something with bigger icons. Yeah. Everything's a lot larger.
But that might be less intimidating to somebody for whom this is their first smartphone.
So this is your lock screen.
Well, that's easy to know what to do. It's a switch. Yeah.
So, you know, that, yeah, exactly. It kind of shows you right there kind of who they're targeting this towards potentially.
I like it that they have the feature, though.
That's absolutely, that you can switch between the two and you're not locked into one or the other. It has a 12.6 megapixel rear-facing camera, which sounds nice. The pictures that it takes, I'd say were okay. I wouldn't say that they were anything really to write home about. But, you know, 12.6 ain't bad on the spec sheet, I suppose.
12.6 megapixels?
Megapixels.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And, you know, it has some nice features, I'd say. Things like HDR built right in and very integrated into that front screen. And HDR definitely improved on a lot of the pictures that I took with it.
This is not a horrible phone. I'm impressed, actually.
It's okay.
I didn't expect so much.
Yeah, it's okay. For $50, it's okay.
Now, off contract, it's only $300. And that's really, I think, if you're going to look at inexpensive phones, that's what you're looking at. Is if you're going to use it as a Go phone or some sort of off-contract phone. It is a little funny. Look at that bulge.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, if you actually hold it for a second, put it in your hands and kind of hold it as if you were using it, it's got a nice contoured feel, right?
Yeah, it's not bad.
It feels kind of nice.
That's probably the antenna bump. You see those sometimes on
phones.
the
backing kind of feels like the Galaxy Nexus.
It's a little rubberized.
Beveled backing. But then it has weird little design features, too.
Like what is that?
Those are speakers.
Speaker? Okay.
And actually, the speakers sound really good. The way that they face them like that, they actually sound better than others. It's just, it gives it a very strange look. Right. So that design isn't necessarily going to appeal to everybody.
Right. Anything unusual about it? It's still micro USB and
it has micro SD card slot under the flap, removable battery.
We're used to having the on-off switch on. At least I am on Android phones. Over on the right, it's not. It's on the. Where is it?
It's on the top. It's on the top right there, and you have to kind of get used to that. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think I was touch sensitivity. I wasn't too thrilled with. There were a lot of times where I touched something and I had to do it 2 or 3. A little unresponsive.
That's something I think a later version of Jelly Bean might fix.
Yeah, potentially so. Overall, I think I was more impressed than I thought I would be going into a Pantech review. I'll just kind of cover the pros and cons. Nice design touches for the most part. Snappy, I'd say, in everyday use. Like I said, it's got the same guts in there as the S3 and the Razer HD, so you kind of notice that in everyday use. And obviously, it's affordable at $50. It's a nice, large screen and brings a lot of capability for that low price on contract. The display, I would say, is kind of like a positive and a negative, because there are parts of the display like the off-axis viewing angles that really kind of bring it down a notch. The overlay, if that's important to you, is very heavy-handed, so I'd consider that a con potentially. It's filled with AT&T bloatware. I'm talking like 20 to 25 things that just litter through here if you go through, and there's no real way to get rid of most of them unless you install.
You could root it.
You potentially, that would be an option, or a launchers a lot of times allow you to hide them after the fact. And then finally, no Jelly Bean right out of the gate. So ultimately, I guess I would have to say try. I was kind of on the fence between try and don't buy.
Now, you carry a Nexus 4, right?
No, I have the Galaxy Nexus.
The Galaxy
Nexus. Because I'm on Verizon.
But the Nexus 4 is roughly the same price, and I would think, especially if you wanted a plain vanilla
off contract, exactly. Then it would be a don't buy significantly, and that's kind of the beauty of the Nexus 4, right? It's like premium hardware at a very low cost if you're willing to shell out the money up front and not go
battery life on this?
Battery life was okay. I had it syncing 3 different emails, Twitter, Google+, Facebook, all that kind of stuff, and I was able to get through most of my days. It was one day
you got 72%. I don't know if you've been charging it or not.
No, I haven't had it charged. I've had it off, but I've also been very busy with shows today, so I haven't had the screen on a whole lot today.
You've been tweeting all day.
Yeah, exactly. But it's been syncing a lot, and I'd say that was pretty much the case for me. I could get through an entire day.
Removable battery?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's a 20, what is it? 2,000 somewhere around there.
2,000 milliamp hour battery.
Actually, yeah. And I thought it was
for a phone that size. Yeah.
Yeah.
So try.
I'd say a try. Yeah. If you're talking contract, going on contract for $50, it would be a try. Compare it against the options on AT&T. There may be something else. Like sometimes they're doing deals on the HTC One X, which I think if you get that for the same price, that definitely beats this. But for $50,
$400
it's a try.
out of contract. I correct myself. $400 out of contract on AT&T.
So try, leaning towards don't buy. But
Pantech Discover.
That's right.
Thank you, Jason. Jason Howell is the producer of Tech News Today every Monday through Friday and the host of All About Android, which is on what day?
Well, it's on tonight. It's
right
Tuesday
after this.
at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Later. All right.
That's right.
Every Tuesday on the Twit Network. Thank you, Jason.